One of the best movies ever. One of the best video game movies ever. Warcraft is directed by Duncan Jones, son of David Jones. Not that David Jones. This David Jones. The one who changed his name later to David Bowie. God rest his soul. So that. It stars Travis Fimmel, Paula Patton, Ben Foster, Dominic Cooper, Toby Kebbell, the dude from Highlander. This movie's about a bunch of big ugly dorks. Orcs. I meant orcs. I didn't get the show notes for today. It's about a bunch of big orcs whose world is dying, so their leader opens up a magic portal to a different world called Azeroth. Problem is, there's humans there. So they're like, alright, let's kill all the humans and suck all their energy out. But there's one big orc who's like, let's join forces with the humans so that we can fight a common enemy. And thus, war is crafted. So let's start with the positives. The CG is amazing, the landscapes are spectacular, the characters are very believable, the motion capture performances are awesome, there's a lot of cool costume designs and weapon designs. I liked all of that. That was pretty cool. The battle scenes were huge, impactful, and very visceral. You could feel the impact of the fight scenes. And for those of you who like magic, there's tons of it. There's tons of magic going around, all sorts of magical magic, but not Magic the Gathering. The acting, for the most part, was hit or miss. The big bad magical orc was cool, I liked him. I think Ben Foster did a pretty good job. Travis Fimmel was halfway decent. But Ben Schnetzer sucked. And I don't mean to say he sucked just to be mean. I mean that every time he walked on screen, he sucked the energy and the charisma right out of the room. He was pretty miscast for this movie. I don't know if you're a fan of his. I'm sure he's good in other things, but he's just not good in this movie. They're in a far-off land, and some of the actors took that very seriously. So they're like, we must destroy the orcs with magic. And then Ben Schnetzer, who plays a young mage, walks in, and he's like, okay, I can use magic. I'll use magic. We'll use magic to fight the orcs, okay? I'm a mage. I do magic. I know how to do magic. I'm magical. He was just basically a dude from LA. I don't know why he's in this movie. Maybe he's friends with Duncan Jones. Maybe they went to third grade class together or played Magic the Gathering in high school. But that's how Hollywood works. It's not who you know, it's who knows you. Some of the actors do a really decent job, especially the motion capture guys and the motion performance guys. I was really sold on the orcs. I like the way they look. They're kind of big and tough, and they've got like body modifications. Although the CG was pretty spectacular and great and very realistic and expressive, I don't know why the animators or the performers feel the need that they have to be constantly in motion, or these characters have to constantly be floaty. Actual living things kind of stop and move and look, but whenever I see a CG character trying to be natural, they just look like they're floating. They can never just stand still, like they're in a pool or something like that. Just a big pool of jello. It probably would have helped if they animated Ben Schnetzer with a little bit of that. I never see people behave like CG characters. Could you imagine someone like walking into McDonald's? Hi, I would like to order a Big Mac, please. Another issue I have in general with fantasy films or any kind of beast that's in a movie is that they always have to open their mouth and screech at the camera. Ever since Jurassic Park, I guess, invented that trope. Every time you see a monster or a large beast in a movie, they just turn toward the camera and scream. Tired of it. I always remembered when I was a kid and I played D&D, and everybody was like, roll the 20-sided die. And then I would roll it, and they'd be like, okay, you're walking through the forest, and then the hit points and the charisma, and they were telling me all this stuff was happening, but all I saw was numbers on a piece of paper. I didn't find it that fun. So overall, this movie kinda was like that for me. There were a bunch of events that happened in sequence, but I wasn't quite attached to them. The movie didn't really do a good job of bringing me in and caring about what was happening on screen. I guess if you're a fan of the video game, because this movie's based on the video game, you're going into it well-equipped with reference material. There's a lot of stuff in this movie that I could tell was specifically for people who are fans of the game. I can only judge this as a movie. I don't want to feel like I have to know everything about the property before going into the movie. I want the movie to do that for me, and in this movie, it was kind of just a sequence of events that unfolded and happened before my eyes that I didn't really care about. They didn't really draw me in. The characters didn't draw me in that well. So for me, a lot of the jokes and the fan service didn't land. They kind of just flew right by me and maybe landed on other people in the audience who I heard cracking up and saying yes and clapping, and a lot of fans, I guess, of the game. And I don't know much about computers other than my mom got one. She put some games on it. Except one of those games was not Warcraft. Sorry.
Stop all the downloading!
Overall, this movie had a lot of good ingredients, a lot of good elements, but it just felt imbalanced in the end. So I give it 2 froze out of 5. I really, honestly, did not enjoy this movie that much, but I give it a couple froze for the effort. I like Duncan Jones. I want to see him succeed. I want to see more films by him because I really liked his movie Moon. It's one of my favorite sci-fi movies from the last 10 years. So I hope he gets another shot after this. I can't help but think that maybe Duncan Jones wasn't fully invested in directing this particular movie because at the time his father was stricken with cancer. Cancer is a terrible scourge. There's things that you can do right now to help cancer research and move us closer to a cure. Check out World Community Grid and download their screensaver, so whenever you're away from your computer, you can donate your CPU power towards scientific and medical breakthroughs. It's pretty cool. And remember, once I get to 1,000 subscribers, I'm gonna have a giveaway to a lucky commenter. So make sure you leave a comment below and definitely show your love by pressing that like button and sharing this video with your friends. So click on the icon on my face at the end of this video if you want to find out how you can lend some PC power toward cancer research. You can always look for a link in the description below or check the card for more details. I'm Aristotle Full Throttle, your bro with the fro in the know, and I'll see you later. Floaty.
G.I. Joe!
Michael Fassbender in this movie is awesome at fast bending. Magneto is pretty neato. And there are a few genuinely emotional scenes that feature Michael Fassbender's extraordinary mutant ability for acting. I'm a big orc.